Yes, there's lots of IRAs and 401ks. Those are okay. You're not going to lose them. There's no threat to them. Okay? The QFS has got that all covered, okay? And I just want to say QFS around the world is attached to everybody. If it's not attached to your bank account, it'll be attached to your birth certificate, okay? Anywhere in the world, okay? You are in the system. And your IRAs and your 401, that's American, but they're safe. It's just that you're not going to have access to it. But that'll be all coming out, on through your Q phones. All that stuff will be presented to you post EBS, okay? But like I said, you should have money. I mean, hi, Monica. You should have money tucked away somewhere, right? Yes, the British Empire is the head of the snake, but the head has been chopped. There's a lot of people out there, I mean, pretty smart people, and, I'm talking to, guys that have been right into the history that say, I read history very, very thoroughly and all this other stuff, but they're still not awake to what exactly going on. The patriots and the starseeds and the light workers, everybody that's following this content right now and other content and other podcasters out there that are talking about this stuff. And I'm talking about Bull Pony, Mark Z, Jaco. I haven't seen his podcast for a couple of days. I don't know what's happening with him. We're all in the same, we're all on the same page, right? So you can just bounce around to everybody in that realm and do your own research. Who owns the stock market? Banksters. All the banksters, all the executive, all the Jesuit banksters, the Zionists, right? They're all run by the Zionists, and they run the diamond gem factory in New York, and that's all you see. Everybody, they're all, rich, and they can control the money. And we should not have our money in the banks. We should be doing our own investing. This is what Trump is trying to do. He's trying to delete the banks, which the banks will be deleted, and everybody should have all their money in their phone on the QFS. The QFS is not a bank, okay? It's a digital entity, completely separated from any central bank, okay? That's why you got to have the phone. That's why and the banks, the only thing that you're going to have in contact with them is they will be a service provider, okay? A service provider to provide a ATM card to shove in there through a digital control system at QFS, okay? That's it. And you'll be able to, take your new treasury note out from there. And like I said, the countries that will be all part of the new U.S. Treasury note, we're going to probably call it the Western Kingdom Treasury note, is going to, and we already know those ones. It's Scotland, Ireland, Greenland, Canada, United States, South Africa, New Zealand, and Australia. We're all one big happy family. Do you think it's going to happen this? Yes, it's going to happen this year. Don't worry, folks. It's coming. I mean, the reason why Trump is not flipping the switch is because there's still a lot of rats out there, and rats, they want your money. They want your gold. They are addicts. Okay, they are hardcore addicts to money or anything precious. And they will not stop. They're like a fentanyl addicted, crazed, addict. Okay, they will not stop. They will kill to get what you have, and that's what the banks have been doing. Who do you think funded all this 2020 Kool-Aid shit? Right? Who funded it? Well, it wasn't Fuchikawi, right? I mean, I call him Mad. If you ever go see the magazine Mad, I mean that's the spitting image of Fuchi, right? My business, and yeah, I mean, if you're tied business-wise into the bank, whatever, you're a corporation. I'd start backing out of it. I really would, because corporations are going to be a thing of the past. I mean, I went from a corporation back in 2012 and said, why do I need them? They were costing me money, and because I was in their books, they were bleeding me dry through taxes, right? Just creaming me every quarter, hitting me with just crazy bullshit. That's all it was. So I said, I went down and I deleted or canceled my incorporation, wiped it out. So, and I had to do that, and it was actually quite easy. And then I just was on my own name, and that's what it was, such and such sawmills, and that's what I did. And I stopped charging tax, and they have to do it very methodically, because they do not want all the good money to be put in bad hands. Okay, we're fighting a system that is evil. The rats are dirty, stinking, evil people. Okay, and the rats control the banking system at every level. The only people that are good people are down at the lower end, because they're the ones that deal with the public on a daily basis. Those bank tellers and mortgage holders or whatever, they don't have a clue. They are, they're put in the dark, and they're, fed nothing but nothing, and that they operate like mushrooms. So they have, they don't have any inside information, because they're not executives, bank executives. You got to be very, very nefarious, very, very, very evil to become an executive central bankster. Well, where the dong is currently, it's where it's always been. I went in there to test what it was. I had 100 million dong, and I says, this is what I did. For that 100 million dong, $5,400 back, okay? But then when I just testing, I went into the bank and I said, and I dropped 100 million, which is their 500 dong notes. So 2 bundles on the table. I says, there's a 100 million dong. How much are you going to give me for that? And the girl first took them out of the packages and went over there and put them on the money counter. They came back and she says, "Yep, there's 100 million there." I says, "So what are you going to give me?" And she's on the calculator, longer than I expected, but she's on this stupid thing. And she says, "Looks like 4,800. I says, 4,800? I says, this phone here says, I turned it around, I showed her, I says, it says 54. Why are you saying 40? I says, that's $600 difference. You see how criminal they are? She doesn't know it. It's not her fault, the teller, but this is what they're designed to do. They get you when you buy it, and they get you when they sell it. And that was it. On just for them to pick up that currency and put it into their vault, they could easily send it back to Vietnam or whatever they're doing. They're going to make $600 on that transaction. That's the kind of money that they have kept from you. Do you want to continue this? Continue doing business with these criminals? No. I am doing things to show everybody how much you're getting greased by having money in their banks. So, like I said, things are going to get really, really crazy, okay? With everything that's going to go on. The lockdowns, everything. I mean, they're ready to pounce on this. I hope so. It looks like the dinar may go soon. Yeah, I mean, if the dinar goes, that means everything else goes. But like I said, I'm not a dinar guru. There are people out there that watch it. You can go to, there are sites that you can go to. YouTube, you just got to fish around and look around, and I'm just, like it says, I bought into the Dom because that was the biggest exchange, and it turned out to be a good investment. Will Trump help Mexico with the cartels? Yeah, that's what he's doing. But you have to understand, Sheinbaum, President Sheinbaum she is complete cartel. She is completely in line with the Chinese Communist Party. Okay? If not, then she's with the cartels in China, the Tyrants, right? So she is in a very, very difficult position. She's going to be killed if she doesn't. She's going to be killed if she does. And I don't ever want that on anybody, but, she's made her bed, and now she has to lay in it. And, I think there's a war that Trump has declared many, many times. He's gone into the CIA when he first got in, and he says, I'm declaring war on all the satanic pedos of this world. And he says, and that has not stopped. He declared it in 2016. I mean, that guy has brass balls to walk into the CIA just like that and say that right to all their faces, because they are directly involved in that. And then he went and said the same thing about all the cartels, not just across into Mexico, but Venezuela and all these other ones. The military is under strict confront formal orders directly from President Trump to shoot to kill of any of those fast boats that are trying to bring drugs into the United States. Blow them, evaporate them. Okay? EBS during the winter season could create problems for power. No, a lot of this is psyop, right? This thing that Ford's going on with, he's completely a controlled puppet. Carney is a complete controlled puppet. Starmer is a complete controlled puppet. Macron and the German Chancellor, they're all controlled puppets, okay? And they're all going to be coming down. They're basically, when their script is up, they're going to be removed, and they're basically, the military intelligence want to I have to laugh because this guy just went on a enduro motorcycle down the railroad tracks. That was pretty funny. Anyways, Maduro, all these guys, they're all going to be removed, okay? But they want the people in those countries, okay, to wake up enough, and then because of the signing of the 209 nations by Trump, okay, calling the Earth Alliance, okay, those militaries will clean up their own corruption in each country. They're ready to do that. So there's a communication around the world, being that the United States, is the central war room to say, are you people ready? Are you people ready? Are you people ready? Right? Because all this is going to go down at once. This is a monumental task. Everybody has to be ready, set, ready to go. And that's why you're seeing, some of these countries are getting ahead of it by going in and, cleaning up all this criminal cartel shit right away. Because because the country itself is so heavily infested with the corruption, right? Okay. Yes, Trump will help Mexico. To answer your question, Trump is helping Mexico right now because he's cleaning up the cartel. And I don't know what's going to happen to their president. And like I says, I think Mexico is going to be either a kingdom of South America or a kingdom of Western, a member of the Western Kingdom. I'm not sure. I don't want to get into the Galactic stuff because I'm going to let that explain itself, okay? But it's, everybody should be encouraged to go out there and do their own research. And, if you're very interested in this Galactic stuff, start digging into it because they've been mining this stuff forever. Like, I'm just going to give you a little tidbit here. There's many benevolent beings out there that do trade in their gold, okay? They do trade in gold. And how they get their gold, they have two ways of getting gold. They mine it, or they can put into replicators and produce it. But that's their trademark. But that replication is controlled, okay? You have to have a certain amount of trade to be able to have that replicated, what you have as a product to be able to trade for that replicated gold, okay? It's like anything that's going on right now. Everything's on a military level. And don't be scared because I say military, right? Military is all about the people. Their oath is not to any monarchy or any 300 committee families or any, order, satanic order out there. They do not submit to that, okay? Their code and their oath is for their people and to serve and protect the people in their country. That is what military is all about. And that's why it's the only way that to get this thing cleaned up is through the military. And that's why it's happening right now. And we will be going military. There will be a military level of operations throughout the world because we're not going to have these Jesuit banksters run it anymore.